Good afternoon, everybody. We've got a special guest today on the channel. This is a 2006 Tigra Sport, which I purchased from Leeds around 3 weeks back, with the intention of selling on. This is actually the Tigra that I sold to the previous owner of the red one in question, and I have to say it's a lovely example of a car. It's probably the cleanest one I've seen for a few years, to be honest with you. It's a 2006, done 74k I think. Bodywork, there's not a single dent or scratch on it from what I can see. The only thing with it being the Sport, I thought that these came with a black surround in the headlights, so maybe they've been changed. But no, lovely little car, to be honest with you. Finger in the way, sorry. Few issues with it. ABS light came on a couple of weeks ago. We've replaced we tried to replace the rings, but they were the wrong size. Yeah, eBay guaranteed fit. So ended up putting a couple of CV joints on it, and it hasn't solved the issue. Hello Luna, that's the cat. So going to try and diagnose that issue today. There's a few other issues, like she wants the gaiters out the red one swapping into this. I didn't realise that the screens were actually paired to the stereo as well, and the stereo came out of the red one we put in here. She's got no time display or anything on that, so yeah, I'm going to start diagnosing and swapping these few little bits over, and I'll take you along for the ride. Here's a quick shot of the interior. As I said in the previous video, we swapped the seats from the other Tigra into this one because she preferred the pattern, and obviously they're a bit more hard wearing, but although it's a bit messy and a bit cluttered because it is her daily, lovely interior, to be honest with you. So first job of the day, quick easy one. To remove the centre console, to remove the screen, you pop the vents out, which are on the floor there, with a flat bladed screwdriver, and then you've got 4 Torx bolts here that literally just undo. I can't remember what size it was. It was a, there we go, a T15. Pull those out, and then it should just literally lift out, and then there's a plastic connector on the back which goes to the wiring. So nice easy job to start off with. I'm going to have a little rant here. Can anybody tell me why GM decided to put these stupid cable ties on electrical connectors? Really bugs me for some reason. I don't know what. Step is, once you've got that out of the way, I don't really recommend dangling cables around, but obviously I will be putting the other clock from the silver one back into this one when I do the full interior assembly next week. Next step is you've got 2 Torx bolts here, remove, and then that just lifts out, and you've got a connector on the back, and that's the clock free. So nice simple job really. Can be a bit fiddly, but not too bad. So next job is to remove the handbrake gaiter and the gear lever gaiter. These are genuine leather which we bought from Germany, and she wants these in place of like the faux leather ones I've bought off Temu, which is understandable. And when you paid £60 for the pair, I suppose, yeah, you want the genuine article, don't you? So these literally just, if I can do it one-handed, pop off and then pull over the gear lever like that. But I think this one's got a cable tie in it, so I am going to have to snip that. And then with the handbrake, it's pretty much the same. Pop off and then pull off like that. So that's pretty much everything out of this one that we've got to remove now to swap over. So I will see you in the silver. So we're now in the silver Tigra. By the way, her name's Pearl, if anybody was wondering what the name of this car is. So the next step for this is to remove the stereo. Now I always use these quick release keys, but if you haven't got any, you can actually stick 4 precision screwdrivers in the holes here, kind of pull them to the left and the right, and then get something. I wouldn't recommend a screwdriver, but like a plastic pry tool or something similar, and then just gently coax out the stereo and release the connector on the back. So once I've got that out, I'll show you the next step. So the stereo is now out. Pretty simple to remove. You've got one connector there with like a sort of a lever mechanism and the aerial lead. Unplug those, and the stereo then comes out, and then it's just a case of gently getting the flat blade in and pulling off the vents like so. Obviously Lynn's got a stupid wireless phone charger, which actually I had to buy to charged my phone on the way home because I've got a crappy iPhone 11, and that relic, or whatever you want to call it, which doesn't really charge your phone fast, cost me 40 quid at Halfords. Still feeling sore about that. Glasses in the way, we don't want those broken. So yeah, like I just said before, gently put a sort of like a pry tool or a screwdriver in, and very gently just click the hazard switch on there, pull the vents out, and that will expose the 4 screws that we just saw in the red one. So undo those, and then that should come out. So yeah, same as before, just gently move it to the side. Obviously don't go pulling at wires because you can damage connectors and break stuff. I'm just dangling it there because 1, I'm lazy, and 2, it's going back in like 5 minutes anyway. So yeah, same as before, these 2 Torx screws here come out, and then the screen just lifts away, plastic connector, and just swap the old clock over with the new one, and then literally just reassembly us reverse. Just a quick observation, I'm glad I found this. There is some like plastic, I'd say, retainers or spacers that clip into that side. This one did just pop off when I took, what vent's that? Driver's side. I don't think it really matters which way they go up, to be honest with you. Either way, just don't lose those, because I imagine the vents would just then start moving about willy-nilly as you're driving and going over speed humps. And if you're like me, on a cold day, you like the heat absolutely pumping out the vents. So yeah, just a quick note, don't lose that. And voila, everything back together, correct time and date, so that'll keep her happy. Now the screen is the proper one to go with the stereo. Another thing as well, I hate the orange backlighting on these. It reminds me of the old Nokias like we had during like the late 90s and 2000s. If you're that old, I mean, I'm 37 now, so obviously my first phone was a 3310. So I'm thinking on the red one, maybe do we do like a bulb, a different colour bulb or something, or can you get like, could I get one 3D printed and maybe put something like an old iPhone in or something, so it would double up as a sat nav, and all the gubbins for streaming through the Bluetooth stereo that's going to go in it. So I don't know, if anybody's got any ideas or seen anything done differently, let me know. Well, this is definitely a first for me. I've never seen a gear gaiter that 1 velcro's on and 2 ties on with like a shoelace. Obviously it's knotted to hell, so I'm gonna have to cut this. But another thing that shocked me is as well, unless it's had a replacement, is how nice a condition that the actual gear knob's in. Normally these are all chipped, frayed, chipping off, you know, faded and crumbling basically. I mean, obviously the handbrake's a different matter. Somebody thought electrical, no, that's gaffer tape or duct tape to our American audience, if there is any on that. So looks like it might be a new gear lever, to be honest with you. So the gear shifter gaiter's removed, and I have to say, I don't know why she wanted to replace it. It is in lovely condition. Oh, it's not. Okay. I was going to say, should I give this away to somebody that could use it? But yeah, that's for the bin now. So next step, once I've got the handbrake off, is I've got to feed a small cable tie through there. And I'm hoping I've got black, because if I have to put a white one in, my OCD will go crazy. And then literally it's just the same as before. Slot it on, pop it over, put the cable tie and clip it in. Well, you have a lot of help, ain't you? After a lot of swearing and cursing later, threading this thing through, and luckily I did have a black cable tie, all clipped on and pulled tight, so that's nice now. So just got to do the handbrake gaiter, and I'm still thinking, what can I do just to temporarily tart this up? Any ideas in the comments, let me know please. Just another bit of Tigra trivia for you, and on Corsa C's, I'm not sure about Astras or Vectras, whatever of the same era. If you need to adjust your handbrake cable from in the cab, that is the nut there to do so. That should just pull off. Yeah, you can see the thread there. I think it was either a 10 or an 8mm. I'm going to say a 10 looking at the size of it. All you do is take the handbrake off and obviously adjust it to the right, I believe. Could be could be backwards. Either way, you'll know if you're tightening it, and that is how you adjust your handbrake cable from inside the car. Yep, she's nicely on. I mean, obviously the edges are a bit tatty, but I will tidy them up in a minute. It was an absolute... Hello? It was an absolute see you next Tuesday to get on, if I'm honest with you, but it's on now, that's the main thing. And a certain member of the channel, any comment about lube, I will smack you. If you know, you know. Yeah, so that's that job done. That's nicely, just need to tidy that up, and then we can start diagnosing this car's biggest fault at the moment. Right, so the next issue with this car is it's got a ABS fault and the speedo's not working. It stopped working probably about 50 miles when I was driving it back home a couple of weeks ago from Leeds. The previous owner did actually state that the ABS rings were at fault, so we've replaced those. Well, we tried to. Bought some off eBay, but they weren't the right pot. Yes, eBay guaranteed assured fit, my arse. So ended up, because the rings were the wrong size. No Motor-factor seems to sell them round here as well, which is crazy. I tried GSF, Napa, Euro, and even Kidderminster car parts, and shout out to them lads, they are sound. If anybody in the Kidderminster Stourport sort of area needs parts, go to Kidderminster Motor-factors. I'll link their details in the description when I upload this later. But yeah, going back to this problem, so we replaced the CV joints and it still hasn't cured the problem. Let's turn the radio off, don't want to get copyright. And the ABS light still stayed on, so I'm thinking speed sensors is probably the next thing, or maybe even the ABS module itself. So I'm going to plug this into the OBD reader and see what code we get up. So this is strange, no codes found. Read them again so you can see. Yeah, no code stored in the module, press any key to continue. Nothing. So, could it be the speed sensors? I mean, for the sake of 25 quid, I said I'd sort the ABS issue out for her. That was part of the agreement with the sale. Try those. If not, could it be the ABS module? Because surely if it was a camber's fault, then the car wouldn't be communicating with the reader at all. I mean, I might try another reader in a minute just to be double sure. In fact, I'll do that now. Just an introduction. This is my cat Luna. She's a 2-year-old calico who is an absolute pain in the arse. I've never wanted to take up the hobby of taxidermy so much since we got her, but I think she thinks she's helping. Bloody King of Pride rock on her little pedestal there. What you found? So second try on the OBD, if I can get the right option. Waiting. Well, helps if you put the ignition on into accessory mode, of course. Right, let's try again. Again, 0 codes. So I'm at a bit of a stump with this one. I think the best thing is try replacing the speed sensors. If not, might be the ABS module itself, or could it even be a wiring issue or something as stupid as a ground. If anybody who subscribes to the channel or watches this video has any ideas, please let me know where I could start looking, because obviously I'm not a mechanic, I'm just what you call a have-a-go hero, as the missus calls me. So yeah, any ideas, please let me know. So, yeah. Do you think you're helping or something? Is that what it is? Or is it just because it's nearly your dinner time? So the other issue with this car is that the boot is working but not the roof. So I'll demonstrate. Pull the levers back like you normally do. Handbrake on, neutral, engine running, blah 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 blah. I'll even put the window up so it's give the full effect. We've replaced the switch with a genuine Vauxhall one, and there is just nothing coming from the switch at all. However, the boot will work. So could it be the switch itself? The battery, I believe this car did have to be jump started before the MOT. Could the battery be at fault? Obviously these roofs are really complex. I don't really know where to start looking. So obviously everybody on the Tigra forum on Facebook is so helpful, and they did suggest a few ideas, but I've been to bed since then and had a beer, so I've forgotten. So if anybody's got any ideas on where to start looking, should we maybe chuck a new battery on it just to be on the safe side? But the fact that there's nothing coming from the button suggests that it's something a bit more sinister. So any ideas in the comments, please let me know. Just another quick one. If anybody wants some stuff to make their car smell absolutely beautiful, I can't recommend this stuff enough. £6 from the range, and honest to God, it lasts for weeks. You can't beat it.